Hello and welcome to the Amiami recap. This may or may not be the first part of August, but you'll probably already know because of the title, so whatever. Hope we have a good month ahead of us, so let's just dig in. First up, we have Chizuru from Rent a Girlfriend by B-Box. Whoever B-Box are. From what I can see, this is their first scale figure. I think, first off, this theming is pretty interesting, I guess. I assume this is plastic and not actually soft. It looks like she's got a different faceplate and definitely a different arm placement there, which adds a little bit of customization, but probably not enough to justify the extra parts, in my opinion. With B-Box seemingly being pretty new, I think it's a bit of a gamble to take jumping in for $200 on this, but if you want to take the gamble and you love Chizuru, there she is. This albedo doesn't list a manufacturer other than Kadokawa, which is interesting. Anyway, I think every albedo figure looks really, really pretty. I think it's just something about her character design that's just always got a lot of elegance and interesting details to it. I really like the sculpt of the dress. You can see there's like a lot of tightness to it, but then it's got all of those frilly bits, which I think adds a bit to make it more dynamic and interesting to look at. The horns and hair seem a bit lacking, I think. I feel like they could pump up the shading on that quite a bit, but the sculpt work throughout this whole thing is undoubtedly really nice. My two main concerns are the price is a bit hefty and this gross solid white stand here. But imagine how cool this figure would be if it had like a really nice looking base to go with it. I think that would just push it to the next level that would sell it so much more. FuRyu back at it again with a ram this time. I'm sure there's a matching ram. Oh, there's Ram. There she is. I don't know what the hell this outfit is, but I kind of love it. I like how chunky and thick this outfit is compared to like a regular kimono. I feel like the whole face doesn't really look like her, which is an issue. Now, I don't want to open the video and be like, oh, all these figures are too expensive, but what's up with these prices? Oh, it's another one of these Machikaro Mazuku figures. I talked about like one or two of these last month, didn't I? Again, she just seems a bit too far backwards that she looks like she's falling over. I guess that fans of this series are probably into these. I respect what they're going for. It's a cheaper 1/7 scale. Hello, fire fox girl? Question mark. Something about this to me feels a bit odd. I think it might just be the character designs of the series. I think one thing this figure does really well is this blend from like normal tail plastic to clear effect fire piece on the ends. But that's pretty cool from the production side, and I think it looks pretty good, at least in the prototype. Again, like the last one, I feel like this is more of a cheaper, niche, smaller figure. And if you like this series, maybe you'll be interested. Hello. The more I look at it, the more I don't actually like it. This leg pointing this way, it looks really strange from that angle. It's hurting my brain a little bit, but I like the hair and the outfit. It's nice. I think from some angles the face looks a bit uncanny and cheap, but it's one of the Gundam Girls figures, and I'm sure it's probably going to go fine with the other Gundam Girls and Gundam guys. I feel like as far as Fox Girls go, I don't really like Hollow's design, but I feel like that might be sacrilege. Anyway, the figure. I like how flowy the hair and the tail and the dress are. I guess this one's probably appropriately priced for what it is. A lot of what I'm seeing on this dress is shading, which might just be shadows, but it looks okay. You can see all of the detail in the dress, which is really the main thing. And it's not bad. I like the pose. Anyone else surprised about how fast the Guru pre-orders closed? Like, god damn. She's gone like instantly. Oh, this is cute. And I'm like, oh, what's it from? And then I read Higurashi and I'm like, oh no, this is probably, I don't know, scary or demonic or something. I don't know. All I know about Higurashi is it's spooky. I love this. It's really cute, except for the base. Like, it's very clean and flat, which I should probably deduct points for, but what's cool is how they've done, I guess these are like breads or something, how they're falling out of the box. This gives me a lot of good vibes, even though her source material is probably haunted, but I like it. Here is a Succubus, which I'm surprised I'm even allowed to show, but it looks fine to me. It's by Luminous Box, who are also doing that like pelican skeleton girl, which seems pretty interesting. So I'm keeping my eye out for how that turns out, but I do like this prototype. I think the one thing that lets this down is that the face is kind of boring. It needs to be like more sexy and demonic. Right now it's just like bashful anime girl face, and it's like it's not fitting at all. However, the rest of the figure I like. I think the outfit is nice. Little devil tail wrapping around is very cute. I really like the shading on the hair. I think they've done a wonderful job with that. And the shading to make the dress look a bit see-through here is also a very nice touch. Ultimately, I think it just comes down to that face and whether you think it's good enough. And it's not that expensive if they can maintain the prototype level of quality. So this is from that Fate spin-off that no one probably remembers. I'm not a huge fan of this figure. It looks very plain. I don't know the lore reason behind this, but I'm confused about what this goopy silver clear thing is supposed to be. It looks weird. I think the Photoshop makes this worse. Just looks a bit flat, and I don't think the pose is that interesting. To me, she kind of looks like a Pokemon trainer or something, like knockoff Cynthia. So I'm not that impressed with it, and a 1/8 scale for $130 I think is probably pushing it. Has anyone been playing Nier Incarnation? I downloaded it, and then I never started it. And it's just been spamming me with like all of these gacha event notifications being like, hey, we're doing a crossover with, I don't know, 2B in a swimsuit or something, probably. And I'm like, I don't care. Why'd you have to make a gacha game? But now that I'm talking about Nier, I may as well talk about the Emile Nendo. He finally... What? Is already pre-orders closed? Okay, I did not expect Emile to be this popular because I was gonna buy him. That is disappointing. Anyway, I'll talk about Emile. He is a funky looking Nendoroid, isn't he? Underneath that poncho, he's just this creepy skeleton boyo. He kind of freaks me out. I don't like the look of that, but... And I guess like a big thing of this is that you just get the Emile head. He's nice. He's a bit creepy, but he's a good boy. Yes, I'll just have to pre-order him from a different store. There he is, Yoko Taro in Nendoroid form. This figure, I think, would be really nice if this dress thing wasn't completely see-through. It's just a bit too weird, especially when it's got loli in the title. That's definitely the loli in question. It's really cute otherwise. Yeah, now it's just a bit gross, which is sad. I'm surprised this is a new figure because I didn't think God Eater was still getting merch, but alas, here it is. He is cool, he does have a big sword. Now, like $170 or whatever for a 1/8 scale, I think, is a bit of a stretch. And the way they've integrated his leg with this base, I think, is just really awkward. Like, he's not jumping on anything, he's not standing on anything, and they've just, like, attached his leg to this rock. That face looks a bit derpy. I'm not really sure what's going on here. I don't think this one hits the cool factor enough. I really like that this has a 360 view of what the figure actually looks like. It's a nice turnaround. I just wish it didn't have to slide across the screen like that. The shading seems a bit overdone in places where you would probably expect it to be, so that's okay. I'm sure someone's been out there waiting for these cheeks to be in full 3D, but yeah, interesting shading application, partially justified, I think. I feel like this is a bit borderline for Sword Art Online merch, but I guess we do live in a world where Chapter 16.5 does exist. Wait, did they put Peter Bear on this mug? What is going on? No way. But I do really like the hair sculpt, especially this little tuft of hair up here, which is a shame because I guess you're never actually gonna see any of that, just displaying it normally. So it's fine. I just don't think it's the ass in a figure anyone's been waiting for. Hello. This fella's from the Legend of Heroes. Never played those games, but I like this guy's design. It's got some nice colors. Oh, I remember seeing this guy when I talked about this girl. He must have been unpainted back then, surely. Well, I like them both. I definitely like the girl more than this fella, but I assume he's like the main character or something, so... He looks pretty good. I think my only concern is that he's a 1/8 scale. But if you're a fan of the series and you're getting the girl as well, might be a good pickup. Hello, it is now that part in the video where I shill about CD Japan. If you'd like to support the channel and this series, you can use my CD Japan affiliate link in the description. Their price is usually a little bit better, and if you buy from them using my link, I also get a bit of money from that. Now back to the figgies. There's been a lot of Kotobukiya this month. This looks okay. I don't know what it is, but it seems like standard Artifacts J sort of stuff. It's got decent shading, it's got a fairly dynamic pose, I guess. Pretty inoffensive, and I think it looks pretty good. Another one by Koto is interesting because it's a 1/6 for like not a lot of money. I have no idea why they would price this figure so cheaply. Face looks kind of basic, but like, I don't know. I'm not really seeing anything here that makes it look any worse than any other Asuka figure. This Eva statue base thing looks really nice. And like her fiery hair is also something I enjoy as well. It's far from the best Asuka figure, I will say. But it's not the worst. I think for the size and price, it's got to account for something, right? On the opposite end of the price spectrum, we have another FuRyu collaboration with Yoshitoku Dolls. I think I may have covered the Rem one in the very first Amiami recap, which is like a year ago now, so hooray. I think you just have to be a mega fan of not only Rem, but the fabric and the doll stuff that this is also collaborating with to actually appreciate what goes into making this sort of thing. And it's EMS only, so Australia can't even buy it. Personally, I don't really care. That's a hell of a lot of money, but I'm sure some people love it, and all the power to you. These Kaguya-sama and Nendoroid dolls, I think, will be a point of contention going forward. Everyone was very unhappy with how Toy Tech handled these initial releases, and now the dolls are being handled by Goodsmile. And I don't know if they're just adding their extra doll parts to this and then calling it a day, or if they're actually going to like fix some of the issues those original Nendos had. For the fans' sake, I hope that those issues are fixed, but I wouldn't really bet on it. It's probably concerning that I see this and I don't even know what part of her character design they changed. This is just how she looks to me. I honestly don't recall what she normally wears in the show. It may as well just be this. Kadokawa has blessed us with more Aqua figures, and I don't know how I feel about this. On a lot of levels, I really like it. I like the sculpt, I like the colors, I like this glowy pink scarf thing. It's fun. I don't know if it's like $180 of fun, but I like it. Though I hope this black base is not a black base when it actually releases. I'm not usually one to nitpick seam lines so much, but this one seems kinda large. Oh god, why? What'd they do with Amelia's eyes? Why does she look like she's from The Nightmare Before Christmas or something? How can FuRyu say this is a 1/7 scale? What is the scale relative to? This isn't normal Amelia. This is weird. It just looks weird to me. I don't understand the concept. Madoka become Maguka. This is kind of pretty. I like the base. It's already a lot of really pretty Madokas, and I'm sure that like, if you're a Madoka fan, surely you have one of the existing ones by now. Anyway, I think she looks fine enough. I think the sculpting, especially in and around the hair, is pretty cool. From a quality perspective, I think it looks good enough. It's just whether you like the pose and theme, I think, is where you really decide if you want to get it or not. There's been a lot of ryza prototypes in the pipeline for a long time now, and it seems like they're all finally getting to the pre-order stage right around the same time, which is potentially bad, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of oversaturation, and you're going to have to get used to me shilling ryza for like every video until the end of the year. I think this Figma definitely does a much better job than the Nendoroid of conveying ryza's character. It looks like a lot of fun. I don't want to go too deep into the ryza stuff, I feel like I'm one of the few people to actually have played the games instead of just seeing all the art on Twitter. But she's cute. I'm trying hard to make myself buy a Figma. Maybe this is it. Maybe not. I thought this was by Mega House, but no, it's by Fat Company apparently. Let's be real, this is kind of a boring figure, right? It's definitely a figure that exists. I think many people will prefer the one of her in her Phantom Thief outfit. I think Fat Company has done great with her hair and her shoes, but the rest of her outfit is very dark, and I don't think they've done a great job of showing any real signs of quality there. So yeah, this one seems kind of a bit of a miss. Persona 5 has a lot of flavor, and I feel like this is just lacking a lot of it. I initially clicked this because I'm like, oh, it's another Onmyoji scale, but no, it's a Figma. But man, this looks clean as hell. This guy looks sick. And then the monkey paw curls, and I do get my requested Onmyoji scale, except she's 1/9. Like, why? It looks really cool. Why is this 1/9 scale? It doesn't make sense to me one bit. This is so strange. They have some of the coolest figures. Why would they make a small 1/9? I don't get it. I guess FuRyu's out to make a bit of pocket change this month since they have another one of these 1/4 scale Yoshitoku Doll collabs. This time with Kana from Maid Dragon. I've never really liked her design. I especially don't like her in a kimono like this. She just looks way too baby. It's kind of gross. Anyone else like Cabbage Dog? Look at him. Speaking of doggos, Okami. This is really cute. I think it's better than the Amaterasu Nendo. Look at the woo! And this deluxe version comes with like a sword and all this cool stuff. That's like, it's so cool. I wanted to try to get into Okami again, just so I can partially justify buying these figures. I might have to do it, because I love this. I'm sure I've talked about this earlier before, but was it at One Fest or something instead? The short of it is that I really like this design. As far as like racing girls go, this one has a lot of flavor from the source material packed back into it. This like star flag is ridiculous, but also really cool. And I think it does a great job of making this figure stand out compared to other racing girls. I don't know who the target audience for this is, but I do really like it. I feel like every month I fall in love with Miku again. There's just something about Miku that's so enchanting. How many layers is she wearing? Like, what is that, 4 or 5 maybe? It's kind of crazy. I like this a lot, but I probably wouldn't consider it one of my favorite Mikus just because of the theme, I guess. It is a long way away, scheduled to release July 2023. 2 years is a long lead time on a pre-order, so she better be damn good when she comes out. So I think Wing has been doing all of the main characters of Yuru Camp, right? If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure that Chiaki is the last one. I quite enjoy what they've done here. I like the shading, I like the sculpt. It feels very Chiaki to me. I don't think it's the most interesting figure, but it seems pretty well made. If it turns out like this, I don't think I'd really be disappointed in it at all. I think last month had a Shaman King figure from Mega House as well, didn't it? From what I remember of the other one, it wasn't this exciting looking. I'm liking how dynamic it is, but I am a bit concerned about the structural stability of how this thing is going to be held up. And I also like what they've done with the base. It tells a little story and sets the scene a bit. So they do have a picture of the other one as well, and I think they look really cool together. They definitely have a lot of charm, and I hope someone who knows more about the source material also shares that point of view with me. I legit thought this figure was a Titan, but no, it's a human anatomical model. Why is there a Scream Figma? I like his slithery snake body. That's... That's funny. FuRyu love doing wedding figures, so I think it's very fitting that they do the Azure Lane wedding figures, which are actually like canon or whatever. I really like this figure. A very cute detail is the heart made by her hair around the back. I think it's really elegant, and I don't know, I've always been a big fan of the Azure Lane art style. so naturally I'm going to like this, but I think they have like just done a good job with it. So I just found out that Darkstalkers is a fighting game series. I thought it was like a graphic novel or something. Here is Morrigan, which is a 1/7 figure by Kotobukiya. This gives me the same sort of vibes as the MLP Bishojos and the Horror Bishojos. So I wonder if it's like the same sculptor or team working on this. And I like it for what it is. And I'm sure if like I actually knew what Darkstalkers was, I'd be like pretty pog about this, but as I am right now, it's just cool, I guess. They made another Miku Nendo. Why? Why? She's adorable. So this is the Ash Nendoroid. I think they've finally done a good job. I think this might be the second one from Goodsmile Shanghai that I like, but it seems like they've actually captured all of her abilities. I ideally wish one day they get back to the quality of the original Ari, which is just absolutely gorgeous. Probably not going to happen, but I can dream, right? I'm confused as to what this is, but Leopard Girl sounds cute. I think the design is fairly cute. The yellow, brown, and white work pretty well together for the color scheme. I really like that everything says res cute. That's some nice wordplay, I like it. I don't really like the hair sculpt that much. Overall, I'm kind of into it. It's not really something I'd buy, but she is pretty cute and a unique sort of cat girl, I guess. I don't really know what this is, but it kind of reminds me of Shelter, that Porter Robinson anime music video. Just the same sort of comfy vibes, I guess. I like the stuffed animals in this whole setting. It is just comfy, and I'm digging the vibes. Not bad, not bad. And I'm gonna end this one on ryza. You know I had to do it. This is a 1/6 scale by Fat Company, and somehow her coat can come off, which I'm not really sure how that works since it's so like wrapped around her arms. I feel like it's kind of a useless feature because I really like the coat anyway. I really like this mischievous cat mouth, even though her mouth does not look like that at all. The face looks a bit off, but it's still cute, so I'm not mad about it at all. But I just feel like this is kind of a boring theme for ryza, like she's just sitting here, not doing much. I feel like they could have added more alchemy stuff to the base to make it feel a bit more lived in, I guess. Realistically, it's going to be competing against this figure from Max Factory, which is also a 1/6 scale. I think the amount of world building and theming in this base just puts it miles and miles ahead of the Fat Company one. Just going back to it, like, yes, ryza looks nice, but it just looks a bit plain, and I feel like they definitely could have done more with her. And I'm honestly expecting a lot of this ryza merch to tank in price, just because I don't think there's actually that much demand for them. So this one's probably a miss for me, but if I see her on sale in like 2 years, you know, maybe I would. So that's going to do it for this month's Amiami recap. There isn't an exorbitant amount of figures this month, so there is only one video after all, but I hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless, and I'll be back next month to do it all over again. This has been the Endo Experience, and I'll catch ya in the next one. Bye.